Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cho Thoughts Podcast. I, of course, am the Big Cho. The lovely Samantha is here with me this week. Big E is tending to Jane's prom while we are recording tonight. Um, so first things first, Memorial Day weekend was this past weekend, and we went to the Washington County Food Truck Festival on Saturday. Um, it was amazing. Eric, his wife Donna, Brandy, my family. We're all out there. My mom, my dad, and everybody was wondering how's it
I
gonna
was
go.
I was there in spirit. I
Yeah,
promise.
we know. I was like, Miss Samantha had allergies and like couldn't breathe and whatnot. But the highlight everybody wanted to know is how was my mom and my dad. So they were fine. They really didn't talk much, a little hey wave, whatever. But um, lo and behold, so at the food truck rally, back behind in the winter circle of the meadows, there was a section where they had like adult beverages, distilleries, moonshine, wine, stuff like that. So according to Eric, and he'll probably touch on it again next week or the following week, he was walking around and apparently my dad was just at this one moonshine stand because they were just giving out free samples. If you asked for it, they would give it to you. So Eric said, "Yeah, your dad said there's like a pickle moonshine over there," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "How did you know?" First of all, and second of all, I'm gonna go get that shit. So he's like, "I know because they were giving your dad free samples and he wouldn't stop and he was just hanging there." Yeah. So I was like, "All right." So apparently like my stepmom was like, you got to get like they would go back. We had this grand table, like all of us together,
Mhm.
and he was said something like, oh, I'm gonna go back over there, and my stepmom's like, no the fuck you're not, you already had like 4 shots of fucking moonshine. Like my dad was, yeah, my dad was, I don't know per se if he was like but he was I think he was feeling pretty nice,
Mhm.
like because they left because went to go check out a food truck, came back and they were gone. And I texted him later and he was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why?" And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, "What the fuck you mean why?" Like, uh, moonshine is fucking moonshine. It could be 35 proof, 85 proof, depending on what you're getting. Never responded to me, but whatever. So he made it home. So good for him. But he was trying this moonshine from like two places. One is, I believe it's called Hammer Brothers or Hammer Moonshine. Um, that's where me and Eric got these little mason jars from. Eric got these wee little tiny ones, like for like three for like $10. I got three bigger ones for like 25. And me and Eric got like this pink lemonade that has
Mhm.
edible glitter in it. And I was like, yeah, it's sparkly. And I was like, it's cute. I'm probably never going to drink it.
Oh, I would in a heartbeat.
Well, if you ever stop out here, it's literally sitting on the top shelf, so Xander can't get it. And then I bought a blackberry lemonade. It smells amazing. And then I got this adult chocolate milk, and I was leery about it because I didn't want it to curdle or anything
Mhm.
like that. But it's like with a soy base,
Mhm.
so it has an incredible shelf life. But it does taste like adult chocolate milk, like for sure.
Mhm.
Um, so, but there was this other one. We didn't buy anything from this one because this shit was like, I swear that shit wasn't street legal. But I was more curious because this place, I forget the name of them. If Eric's listening, he'll tell me the next time. They had a left side, like wham, full
Mhm.
of sugar-free moonshine.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like in, and I'm looking, and I was like, oh shit, man, oh man, that sounds good. And then it was like called Moose Meister. Look, come on, we all better out of block. We already know what this is gonna fucking taste like, right? We know it's
Mhm.
gonna taste like black licorice. We know it's gonna taste like Jaeger. So I wanted to just stroll down memory lane at 40 fucking two and be like, I wonder how black licoricey this is. And Eric got this shit called Bikini Bottom, and it looked like a cream, like a light cream. And as we're going to shoot it, the guy looks at Eric and goes, "Just so you know, that's like 80 proof." And Eric's like already has it on his lips, like it's going.
Mhm.
And Eric looked at me and was like, "That tastes just like Malibu rum." And I was like, "Cool, that tastes just like fucking Jägermeister, like to a T." And I said, "I'm good." I could feel it on my breath, like it was just bad. And I was like, oh my god. So when we went to the place where we got those little mason jars from, I was sweating down my
Mhm.
side. That's from one shot. I was like, I mean, it was a little warm last Saturday, but I mean, still, I was like, ooh, I was getting like the vapors. Like I was feeling it, like, but not like, not like Paul Chopek Senior after 4 shots or
Yeah.
whatever. But so we came back with like the little mason jars and whatnot, and then we were saying there wasn't like my mom came back and she was like, "Did you go find that pickle one?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." And she had a bottle of black cherry from the apparently there was a third one.
Mhm.
And I said, "Well, is that where the pickle's at?" She's like, "Yeah." I turned around, I was like, "I'm gone." So I started walking, and my cousin Stormy, her husband Brian, Stormy and Brian, I love y'all. He's like, "I'm going too." I was like, Okay, like, all right, whatever." Because I mean, like, they went to Vegas with my mom. They go on
Mhm.
trips and all this shit. They go like on cruises, and I hear all these stories, but I've never got a chance to experience drinking with Brian.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, I like ask for the pickle moonshine, and he gets the black cherry. Who does his, and he's like, "All I smell is pickle juice." And I was like, "For real?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "And you just shot that. Like it was like the remains of it." He's like, "It's so briny, like that smell." And I was like, "Well, it fucking sure as fuck tasted like it. Like it
Mhm.
tasted like." And that's I asked the guy, I says, "What's in here?" He's like, "Pickle juice, moonshine. That's it." I was like, "Fantastic. I'll take a bottle of it." I left from a food truck rally with 4 things of moonshine.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but I only spent $50.
Oh, well, then that's not bad,
No, not at all.
especially for moonshine.
Yeah, right. So I mean, there was that, and then we, the food truck event was really cool. Like we enjoyed ourselves. Everybody just uses their little tickets, and then everybody shares off everybody. It's like a
Mhm.
family style kind of feeling. So it was a lot of fun. It got hot. Like it did for some reason. Like the sun peaked out that day, and it was, oh my god. But uh Brandy and myself signed up for these newspapers, like a
Mhm.
newspaper or whatever, and I ended up getting 2 snapback hats, and Brandy got me 2 more too. So I mean, $40 for, I don't know, maybe 80, $100 worth of hats. It was fine. The lady even told me, she was like, "You can cancel on the 2nd of June." I was like, "I intend on it." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I believe, my bad. I'm gonna do it. So
Mhm.
like, but hey, thanks for the hats. So um, but I did want to say is like the day before that, we went and saw the new Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, how is that?
It was good. It was really good. Like, so if you're a fan of the cartoon,
Mhm.
there's a couple things that are different in the live one. Like, there's not just one social worker, there's like two. And
Okay.
then yeah, like they integrate that. Like the shark villain guy wasn't part of it because they had no really way to put him in the story. Because it's very the Ohana. It's very family oriented.
Gotcha.
It's all around it. But uh I will say, like, on record, it was something that we weren't really going to do, but like the idea came around because was actually Xander's mom that suggested if we all wanted to go to the movie theater.
Hmm.
So everything's cool, we're fine. Like no animosity, so people don't start sitting there taking my words and twisting them out of context. But it was the first like we went, her and her daughter went, and Xander
Hmm.
and myself and Brandy went. We all went together, and it was fun. We it was her like her daughter got like any kid does, you know what I mean? Got her like got her mom a little overzealous and whatnot. And she got a little anxiety because she didn't want her
Hmm.
daughter touching like barefoot on a movie theater floor. And
Well, yeah.
right, and they went about an hour into it. They got hey, an hour into it for a 2 year old is
That's good.
astronomically great. So she was like, hey, we're gonna head out, and I was like, are you sure? Like, we don't know how long much longer this movie is gonna be. Turned out literally after they left it was a half hour, so I was like,
Okay.
man, she had the potential, she could have did it. Like, i was
Hmm.
i was driven. But shout out to Ashley. She was like, hey, bring him home when you're done. Like, she wasn't gonna pull him from the movie,
Well,
like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? And it was great. It was really cool. So like Xander was like, where'd mommy go? I was like, well, she had to take your sister home and whatnot, but you're gonna stay and
Hmm.
finish watching the movie with us. But yeah, it was good. A lot of like, I don't know. I don't understand why like people shush or down in front. You're at a children's movie. Like,
Hmm.
you're at a kids movie. If you don't understand, there's gonna be 40,000 kids here trying to watch Lilo and Stitch. Watch it when it streams on like Peacock or Max or
Hmm.
Netflix, Paramount. Like,
Or go to like a later time, like where not a whole lot of kids are going to be there.
right. Or like, we went about almost closer to 7 at night.
Hmm.
Do a 10 o'clock show. Half them kids are gonna be
Exactly.
fucking sleeping. Don't go an early show because them kids are wide fucking awake.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, like if it's really that much, or I know there's still a couple drive-throughs around here, maybe I think one.
Hmm.
Go do
Do that.
that. Yeah, like, don't don't ruin the kids' time. Like
Right.
like don't be that person. I fucking hate that. But it was good. We enjoyed it. They did Stitch really well. Um
I saw cartoons for him, like, or pictures, like, um, I don't know where it was. It was some store. And I remember seeing the newer, like, he's not the cartoon. He's like live type, right? And I just remember seeing it and I was like, oh my God, I want him.
yeah,
Like,
it,
I
it
mean,
was
he's cute as a cartoon, but like the live version, I'm like, I need to have him as a pet. Somebody get him.
right. And then like he like portrays a dog, and it's hilarious. And then like eventually like he starts learning how to talk and all that shit. But it was cute. It really was. And Xander actually did surprisingly well through it. Like,
Hmm.
I didn't know if Xander would really be into Lilo and Stitch because he's never really seen the original. I mean, I've seen the original. Brandy's never saw the original.
That amazes me so much though, because like even I work with my older clients and I use a lot of comparisons to music, movies, things of that nature. And I was talking to the one kid and I don't remember what I said. And I was like, oh, it's like Beauty and the Beast. And the kid looked at me and went, what? And like the only, like, oh my God, the only one they could think of was one who had, what's her name in it? The live action one.
Oh, with Emma Watson?
That's it. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the original.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, we ain't got, stop fucking around. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, when we were taking him, because it's funny, like, he rode with us, with me and Brandy out.
Hmm.
Mom and his sister rode together, and I was like, "You ready to go see Lilo and Stitch?" He's like, "I don't know." Like, like
Yeah.
I've never like I was like, "Yeah, that's right. You've never seen the original." I was like, "So we'll see how this goes for you too."
Hmm.
But I mean, he liked it. I said, "Would you see it again?" He was like, "No."
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, you know what? I don't care. One time's good for me, man."
Hmm.
Like, but he did. He really enjoyed it. So that was Friday. Of course, Saturday was a food truck. And um then Sunday happened, and I just know that I'm definitely 40 fucking 2 years old. Like it just is that way. So Sunday morning, we met with my buddy Craig's wife. Shout out to Miss Sipple to watch a soccer football game. And at first, I was like nervous. I was like, please don't be on at like no 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't have time for that shit. Like, I want to get up. Like,
Hmm.
but it was like 11 o'clock. So we pick her up. We enjoy the game. We have a great time. But it was just like when I got done and that was over at a bar, I was just like, no, no. It just, I don't know. It was just one of those things where I'm like, this was great, but I felt like when the soccer match was over, we should have went home.
Yeah.
Like because like even though it's Memorial Day, I get it, but I mean I had things to do. I had
Hmm.
to go pick up Xander. I'm already tired. Like I wasn't tipsy or shit like that. It was just like, dude, I'm exhausted. I've been
Hmm.
literally because in the process of Memorial Day weekend, I would wake up. I woke up early Saturday morning, early Sunday morning. I replaced the starter in my Jeep.
Hmm.
Like I was hell bent on I didn't want to spend a lot of money because I know how much a starter can run anybody when they take it to a mechanic. Could run like $500-600 depending on what mechanic.
Hmm.
To. So I have a brother that's a mechanic, but he never reached back out to me and never told me anything about what I was doing. So thank God for the good old wonderful internet. Thank
Of
God
YouTube.
internet. Yeah, YouTube showed me like what to do.
Hmm.
So I told Brandy, I said, here's how it's going to go. I'm going to wake up early Saturday morning. I'm going to prep it. I'm going to take a stab at it and see where I get. I said, and
Hmm.
then wherever I end up before we go to the food truck rally, I think I can finish it by Sunday before we go out with Jen. And she's like, okay. And Saturday, I had it all ripped out, battery out, intake hose. Um, had some cable ties because like all these fucking like tubes were in my way. And I had the starter out, the old one out
Hmm.
by Saturday. Because, sidebar, I don't know how it is for y'all out there, but for me, any kind of home, auto, or just project in general, whatever you see on any kind of social media, and they're like, oh, it only takes about 20 minutes or 2 hours. No,
No.
not for me. Not for me. It'll take like that 20 minutes goes into an hour. The 2 hours can go into 48 hours. Like it
Hmm.
can, I it just never goes right. So if any of y'all out there feel the same way, let me know. So Sunday, I woke up and I let her sleep because I knew it was going to be a long day. Got up. Of course, it's like chilly in the fucking morning.
No.
Oh my God. I literally walked outside and I was in a hoodie, sweatpants,
Hmm.
and like a fucking beanie on my head.
Yeah.
And I'm in my car doing my thing. Mind you, unbeknownst to me, I had a whole audience watching me at like 8 in the morning. Like
Wait,
I'm
was it a Bia? Was it the Bia? Did he come back?
no, if it was this is where I'll use your accent. If it was a beer, I'd have fucking been like, I'm out of here. Like I swear. Like so I'm sitting there Sunday and I, like I hear music and I'm like, all right, what's whatever, you know what I mean? Maybe somebody's jogging or some shit like that. It's my neighbor Wendy. She's out there like I heard her music from where she was. Like her trailer, which
Hmm.
means she's out in the mornings doing her thing. She usually goes out, has like morning coffee. She may smoke a cigarette, and then she walks her dogs. But she doesn't come down my end. Like she just walks them the long way. But of course, she sees me outside under my hood, and has to be nebby nebby.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I can hear the music like slowly like growing louder
Same.
and louder, and I'm just like, and I have one headphone in, so I'm sitting there doing my thing, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I see the dog's paws, and I was like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking really? I was like, I'm working on a car. I'm not committing, I'm not performing open heart surgery. Or you know what I mean? There's no like dramatic domestic violence something going on
Yeah.
or anything where it's like the cops are here. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I just figured it's just a nebby neighbor. Fine. So I'm sitting there, and then my neighbor across the street, Trevor, he opens the door and he's like watching me. And then I'm sitting there. I just wanted to be like, are y'all entertained? Like, it's like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm working on my car. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Do you want me to like flash a tit? Like, I mean, to
What
make
do you
it
want?
interesting?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want from me right now? So, anyway, I'm like, I got my head into it because I was like rocking and rolling Sunday morning. But I had to like put it back in, and then I'm like, okay, that was the hard part. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to assemble this back together. So I did all that, and of course, just my luck, I drop an open face wrench like, yeah, right down into it, and I was like, fuck. And I didn't hear like the ping off the concrete, and I was like, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's in my
It's
car.
in there.
It's in my car. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. So I'm like, I got my phone like looking around for a look. I can't find it. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, fucking Christ. I was like, it's gone. I was like, as long as I know where it landed. So like here I go. As they're all watching me, like
Uh-huh.
like a mo, I go under and I'm like smacking the pan like of my car. And I heard it and I was like, oh, great, cool. It's not in my engine. Like, you know what I mean? It's not in something like the fan or a blower. I was like,
Right.
well, it has those little slots. So I was like, for like your oil, like your oil filter. Or
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? If I hear a ting, ting, ting when I'm like driving, there it is. I'll just buy a new one. I don't even care. I didn't even care. So I'm thinking to myself, I was like, fuck, well, I still have to like get this like on.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a socket that was like this big and my ratchet. I'm holding the socket like pinched with my fingers. And you hear click, 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 click. And I was like, this is going to be an eternity. Like, I was just like, so anyway, I got both bolts in. I got it back in there, hooked everything back up, and I turned it over and it started.
Nice.
So I was like, gave an old attaboy, like shut the hood, and then we went and did our thing with Jen. But like it was kind of cool because that one Tuesday was like the moment of truth. I didn't drive it anywhere. Tuesday I
Mm-hmm.
drove it to work. Well, Xander to the bus stop, me to work. And I drove it and I called my dad and I let him know because I was telling him at the food truck rally, like, hey, I got to disassemble, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, when it starts, it's a great thing. And I was like, no shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
thanks for the advice, Dad. Like, anybody who has common sense knows if it starts, you did a good job. So I called him on the way home. I was actually going to Ashley's house to pick up Xander. And I called and told him, like, hey, like, I'm in it right now. I was like, no clicking, no nothing. I was like, so I think I replaced the starter and did it successfully. And I heard, wow, I can't believe you replaced your starter by yourself. I'm so fucking proud of you. I was like, I think I almost wrecked my car.
Yeah.
I really did. I was like, I think I almost wrecked my car. Like, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my.
Yeah.
Did he just, all right, I'll take it. Those don't
See that
come often.
in those moments, it's where you look around and be like, wait, did hell freeze or the piggy's flying? What's going on?
Yeah, like I thought to myself, I was like, did I just switch into another multiverse or something? Like,
Right?
I was like, did the timelines pass? Because I was like, I went and picked up Xander, and Ashley was outside like walking her dog, and I had like not like teary eyes, but I was like in one of those like fogs, like.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Well, you're not gonna believe this, but my dad just told me he's proud of me." She was like, "Shut the fuck up." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what to do with myself. Like
Yeah.
I don't know." I was like, "I think I must wreck the Jeep." She's like, "You just fixed it." I
Mhm.
was like, "I know, but he caught me off guard." So she like high fives me and she was like, "That's great." But I was like, it was just like this fog over me
Mhm.
because I've never heard that. My
Yeah.
mom, I've heard it, but like my dad, it's like something
It's rare.
extreme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's rare. So, um, I mean, I had to do that. My weekend was busy as fuck. And then, of course, I pick up Xander on Sunday, and then was the wonderful Memorial Day parade in Lawrenceville on Monday.
Mhm.
So that was a lot of fun. It was like just like every year. Xander got excited by the Shriners and the Pirate Parrot. And then it was time for the ceremony with the boom booms and the guns. And that boy didn't flinch. Like, usually we'd have his headphones on him, and we had his headphones on him during the actual parade.
Mhm.
It's like the fire engines, the all the like all that can be really loud for him. Like you understand, like it can
Yeah.
be a lot. So we had those on his head, and then it was great because it wasn't only him. Like my cousin Charles and his wife Brittany, like their kids had theirs on there. Um, it was even cool because like Eric and Jane were there. Donna had dialysis. Brandy was there with me, and we invited his mom out to the parade, and his mom and Saoirse came. So
Nice.
it was crazy. Like, and then we ran into our friend Sandra from high school. So I told her I'd give her a shout out. Give her a shout out. There you go. I was like, we had a really good time. And then, like, of course, Xander has to play in the fountain every year. Like, just what he does. And then it was just we didn't go nowhere afterwards. Like it was like one,
Mhm.
2 in the afternoon. So it was like no. Like we go that's the thing is we go to the picnic or the parade every year. There's no
Mhm.
picnics or anything really after,
Yeah.
you know? But it was just I felt like I blinked and it was over. Like I
Mhm.
was like, oh great, now I got to go back to work or whatever. And it's been fast the whole week. And now, well, this will air for Friday. So today, Xander will be going to his first independent wrestling show. So fingers crossed on how that's going to go. I was like, it's something new and exciting, and I
Mhm.
just want him to try it. And if he doesn't like it, if we got to get the hell out of there, then we get the hell out of there.
Mhm.
And then
And we get the heck out of here.
that's right, we'll get the heck out of here. The boss is here. You just don't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
Sorry, people. He's a rock star. He just don't want to be on the camera tonight. Um, and then he has like we're doing this bowling thing on Saturday for his friend, and I'm like, I there is not a moment to stop. Like I was like, oh
Mm-mm.
my god,
I
I
know.
it's ridiculous anymore. Like I know summer's here, and if anybody is has children that are ready for school to be over, cool. Meet
Um,
my son.
all my clients, all of them, no joke, the last 2 weeks have been in full blown crisis, all because they have 1 to 2 weeks left of school and they don't want to go.
Xander literally went this week. He went Monday, he was off, obviously for observing Memorial Day. But
Mhm.
then Wednesday, he had an 11 o'clock dismissal, like from school.
Yeah.
Okay. And then next week, next Friday, he has a half day. And that's it. That
Yeah.
is it. If I hear one more time, school's almost over, school's almost over, I'm going to be a senior. Okay, stop rushing it. I got it. You know what I mean? But I'm
I,
like, dude.
I have one client, he's young. Obviously I can't state ages, but he's young. And he's been having a really hard time getting through. I think his last day is the 12th, so he's got what, like another week, maybe week and a half left to
Mhm.
go. And so he was actually suspended from school because he went to school last week and he just like literally walked through the door and was just like, fuck this, don't want to be here. And he just let loose. And
I ain't gonna lie, I
so,
kind of like that.
yeah. So he got himself suspended and he went back on Tuesday. So, we worked it out with the parents that, if he did good, he gets, every time he does really well at school, he gets like, 15 additional minutes on a favorite video game or something along those lines, right?
Right.
And so it's always like right after dinner. So he can earn up until, so I think he's what, 15, 30, well, up to 45 minutes now, right? So he goes ahead today and during session, he doesn't want to participate in session. And I was like, but we're playing a really fun game. And he's like, I don't care. And I was like, okay, well, what would you like to be doing instead? He's like, I want to play Roblox. I earned it. And I was like, I believe you, but what is the rule? What did mom say that you could play your Roblox? And he goes, I know it's after dinner. And so mom leans in and she goes, okay, well, it's not after dinner. You still have some time. You need to come and participate in session. And so he goes ahead, he participates for maybe 5 minutes. And then, of course, he's like really bored and he turns around and he's like sitting on his mom's lap at this point, climbs down and starts walking out towards his bedroom. And mom goes, where are you going? And he turns around real quick and he goes, I've done really well in school the last 3 days. I am exhausted. I am tired. I am going to play my Roblox.
They all act like it is like they have served like a prison sentence. Like,
Right?
you don't know how this is. You don't know the damn struggle. I gotta do this for another week, maybe
I laugh
two.
because I'm like, dude, you guys don't even know what it's like in New York. New York does not get out until like June 30th. Okay. So
Well, like
be
they don't
grateful.
they don't understand too. Like, okay, like with the Fox Chapel School District, I've never had a district with so many days off.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. And
Uh-huh.
then it's like, well, this is a wellness day. I'm sorry. What the fuck is a wellness?
Uh-huh.
Like, I was just like, okay, okay.
I I
Y'all just
remembered
need
when
a
I
day
went to
off. Is that
school.
it?
Yeah, like I remember when I went to school, okay, we had a certain amount of snow days that we had to use. And if we did
Yes.
not use them, like they were just literally subtracted from the end of the school year. So
Yes.
if we had 7 left, they gave us, we got out a week early.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that was it. Now it's like, oh, well, here's a random day off because you didn't use your snow day.
Yes.
And I'm like, really? Like, you guys can't just pile it up on the end of the day, let them out earlier, let life be easier? Like, come on now.
No, 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 because these kids have had too much.
Yeah.
They're exhausted. They can't handle the pressures of life.
I've had a good 3 days at school.
I've had a good 3 days, okay? You don't know what's going on. I'm over here itching and scratching because I had addition homework, all right? 3 days, all right? 3 fucking days of it. And if I see one more math equation, I'm gonna fucking lose a gasket. Like today, prime example. Today. So I pop in, I'm picking him up, and Ashley's doing his homework with him and whatnot. Well, she's kind of checking it over. And it's a reading homework, a reading exercise.
Mhm.
So she's in there checking his stuff or whatever. And she's like, wrong, wrong. This one's wrong. And this one's wrong. I was like, Xander, what's happening, dude? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you? Then I was like, I said, did you even read any of this? No.
Mhm.
What? Like, he was just circling.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, he's so done. He's just like, I, I
Uh-huh.
don't I don't even fucking care.
But like, I kind of feel where they're coming from too, though. Like, I don't know. Like if I had to keep going through like so like week after week and week and like, we have PTO for our jobs. So I get it. I do. But at the same time, I'm like, come on, guys, you got one more week. Let's push through. Come on.
Right. He did that to Ashley and I on on Tuesday. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday this week. He had math homework and he was just not even focused, like not even.
Mhm.
And then he's writing down the answers for these math problems, and they really want him to show work. They really want
Yeah.
him to show work. So Ashley's checking it with her phone, but she's like making dinner, and I was hey, like I could check it. She's like, oh yeah. So it's like I'm checking it, whatever, and instantly I was her the following day. I was like, wrong, wrong.
Hmm.
This one's wrong. Then I was like, X, what are you doing? I said, you don't even know, these aren't even adding up correctly. I'm all done, please.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wish I was. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I wish I could just do like half my clients and be like, I'm all done, please. I'm done.
Right.
I'm done. Well, you gotta finish this work. No, I don't. I'm done. I'm done.
Mm-mm.
It's not great. And then like it's every day. It's like he stems he'll stem about like, 3 more days of school left, whatever, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Fine. It's natural, and we tell him like, no, it's like 2.5 because you have a half day on Friday or whatever. He is to the point now where he thinks that tomorrow or today is next Friday.
Oh
He
yeah.
thinks he has a half day. And we're like, no, you have a
Got
full
one more
day.
week, buddy.
And then you have one more week. And then he was like, but school is over. I was like, I wish it was that easy, dude. I wish. Like
Yeah.
I wish for you, but listen, no. It's not even like that. You
See,
think
but
it is.
I'm not gonna lie. So, all right. So when I came back, I didn't even realize this. I was in communication with my supervisor, and so when I left to go up to New York, I had a coworker attend some of my sessions, and I was like, part of it is because we need to have certain amount of team sessions and certain amount of individual. So of course, my partner at the time was not happy knowing that there had to be a team. So I had brought it up that Monday before I left, and I was just like, so and this was in front of my boss too. We were at supervision type of meeting. And I was like, so yeah, you're gonna need some team sessions. If I were you, I would, send out an email and reach out to see who would want to come with you. And he like turned and he gave me this look and he was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need those. And I was like, you are. Like that's policy, you're gonna need it.
Right.
So he had always had I don't know, a negative perspective on working with others. Like he was always like, I don't need that, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I turned to my supervisor and I was like, hey, Olivia will be great. Like, I think that would be great to work with. So I had her attend our Tuesday and Thursday sessions. And I was like, just go to the evening and let me know how it goes. So Tuesday, she checks in with me and she's just like, oh my God, I don't know how you've been working with this man this long. She's like, everything that you've been dealing with, like I've seen it just within this past hour alone. And I was like, well, I'm glad you have because nobody else believes me.
Right.
Like, okay. So then Thursday came around and I get this. She calls me and she tells me she's having a problem with him. Apparently he had sent her earlier in the day, he had sent her an entire like 2 paragraph length type of text message explaining what the plan was for session. And he wanted to separate. He wanted Olivia to go work individually with mom, and he would individually work with IP. And Olivia was like, wait, hold up. I was like, yeah, that's what he does. Like, he never does family sessions. Like, I've never, every time that I've done a team session, it's always you go to mom, I go to IP. So part of that was, so Olivia played dumb and she was just like, so I'm curious, like, why I've never worked, like, this is the second time I've been meeting mom, like, it's gonna be uncomfortable. Like, why would you even do that? So he was like, oh, well, I'm like really, really obsessed with DBT work. And so like I've been intensively working with them on, well, IP on DBT. So just to give everybody, in case you don't know what it is,
Yeah.
DBT is a dialectical therapy, and it's primarily used for those who have intense negative behaviors that are more associated with trauma responses, like if you've experienced severe trauma. And this client had not been diagnosed with trauma. She has experienced trauma, but not to the extent that she needed that intense service to help her through it.
Okay.
So with my agency, we provide trauma-informed care, which is where we will inform you, we will educate you, and we will make referrals, to trauma-based. Okay. I am not certified in trauma therapy. I don't know how to treat, go into the depths of that. So I would not even go that far. I'd be like, hey, listen, that's out of my specialty. I can refer you to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Correct.
So for him to be like, oh, I'm going intense DBT, that was the first red flag. Now, with any type of therapy, it's okay to dabble, like with other interventions.
Yeah,
No
like
big
put your
deal.
toes in the water. Yeah, why not?
Right. But to go that extensive as if you're certified in it, that's illegal. Like you're doing more harm than good. So Olivia messages him back and says, oh, I didn't realize that you were certified in DBT. And he wrote back, no, I'm not. But I just really like it and I educated myself on it. So Olivia goes,
All right.
okay, well, maybe that's what you do. But I'm just going to request that while I'm present, we focus on family-based and use the model on hand and not DBT. So about 2 hours later, he sends her another text message that says, you know what? I was doing a lot of thinking and I don't really need the team hours this week, so you don't have to show up to session, but thanks anyway. He's having a hissy fit because she called him out.
Yeah.
Okay. So Olivia, what I love about her is I've been working with her for the last, 3 years, and she always calls it the inner Sam. She's like, her inner New Yorker comes out. And she's like, I always go, what would Sam do? And she literally came back and was like, as a text message and went, oh, hey, yeah, well, that's not your decision to make. I'll see you at 5:30.
Oh, damn.
I was like, that's my girl.
But I love how he got called out on bullshit. And then he's like, well, peace out, Cub Scout. I'm not coming.
Yeah. So she shows up, and during session, I get a text message from her that all she wrote was WTF Paris. And I'm like, Paris, France? She goes, no. So I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about now?
Yeah, right.
Right. So she calls me after session and tells me that he created a intervention of his own that is not evidence-based, has never been researched, no science to back it up. Okay. That he had been using with this family for the last 3.5 months behind my back.
Oh, wow.
So to help. Okay.
We switched it up.
To help get a better understanding, it would be equivalent to you going to your doctor, your PCP, and him like coming out and saying, you know what, Paul, I think I came up with a pill to help treat diabetes better than what you're on. You don't have to sign any consent forms. I'm just going to have you take it and let me know what you think. Yeah, you're going to be like, wait, did you try this on anyone? How do you know that it works? No, it's my baby. It's mine. I created this. I know it's going to work, but I need you to trust me on it.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah.
That is what he was doing with my clients. But he wasn't coming out and telling them, I created this. This is my baby. He just did it. And
okay.
It's unethical, it's illegal, and it's harmful. Okay. So this was brought to the attention of my supervisor, who then brought it to the attention of HR. And HR basically was like, well, we can't have this. Like, we'll give him a warning, but that's about it. Like, this is a one-time shot. Like, if he
Right.
doesn't pick up and change, like, he's gonna have to go. So my supervisor had called and was just like, hey, just want to let you know this was brought to our attention. We're just saying that we're going to have to write you up. This is your first warning. Unfortunately, you are doing more harm than good. This is not, you're not even using our model. And the model that we use, right, is literally, it's a model that has been proven time and time again, over and over and over again in every family-based situation. It was created in the literally 1950s and has been used since. There is scientific evidence to back it up. He just doesn't like it. So Friday came and he didn't say anything to anybody. He just canceled all his sessions, and that was that. I sent him an email on Friday with our schedule for the following week, and I was just like, hey, can you just update me on how things have been going? No answer. He never replied back to me. So on Monday, I come back, and we have a crisis group where everybody comes together, we talk about our cases, and I noticed, and this is mandatory, everybody has to attend this. So I was like, wait, he's not in this group. Like, what the hell?
Right.
So I go ahead and I text my supervisor. I was like, hey, where is he? She's like, yo, I didn't even know he didn't come. She was like, why don't you try to text him? Let me know if you get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Does not answer my text message, does not answer my phone call. Okay. By the end of Monday, my supervisor calls me and says, apparently he quit. Apparently on Friday he quit.
But did he tell anybody?
Told nobody. Nobody.
So technically he just ghosted his job?
Yes. I look up and fucking.
All right.
We didn't know this until literally 5:00 Monday evening, and thank God I had all the clients on Monday, so like he didn't have anybody.
Yeah.
But like 5:00 is when she finally got a hold of him, and he was like, "I'm bringing my stuff in tomorrow." Like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I quit.
Wow. But like all because, well, one, if you think about it, one, because he got busted.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I think what it was is, if you think about it, I don't think he could live with the fact that he's got told what to do. Like, you're not
Yep.
following structure, you're not following the base of what we're implementing here. You're doing more harm than good. Basically, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and what kills me too is it's people like that don't. It seems like, just my impression. It just seems like they don't give a fuck that they're harming a family, or
Nope.
like, or even the client, the child, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the I don't know. If you want my opinion, I was like, those people are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If you have these set of rules and
Mm-hmm.
regulations and policies, especially you have to implement them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't just fire him,
Yeah. I'm surprised by that too, because
because
that's where I would have gone.
yeah, so would I, because it's like, no, you're like, you made up your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be like that'd be like me, who has no fucking idea what you do, me just coming in there and be like, oh, I do this all the time. You know what?
Right?
I created the paper system.
Do you,
What? Yeah, yeah.
do you know how many times I get people to be like, oh, that must be nice that you get to just talk to people all day.
No.
Yo, it's far from it.
Yeah. Like, but to make up, like, that's so crazy. Like,
Yeah,
but then, like, in the same breath, Sam, it doesn't surprise me with people.
it doesn't. And that's why, like, I had put my foot down. And I went to HR and I went to the director and I said, here's the deal. I'm not doing this again. I'm not. I saw the red flags because I interviewed him. You didn't take me seriously then. You still hired him. I saw the red flags the week that he started. You still didn't believe me. He convinced you to break protocol and policy and get him in earlier to have him start. So the policy is that anybody who starts, you do a lot of training, you do a lot of shadowing, meaning for the first 30 days, you go with seasoned therapists and you observe their sessions. And then you do a lot of trainings. You have to go to a lot of onboarding, right? So you have to do this for 30 days. I unfortunately lost a client within those 30 days, and he took it upon himself to convince everybody, well, Sam's grieving. Sam's going to need extra help. Why don't you just end my onboarding? I've already got experience from, the last agency. So I'll do it.
So he just maneuvered in.
Yeah. And that was another red flag for me. And then he literally tried to take over all my clients. And he would sit there and be like, but you're going through a really rough time. Like, don't worry about it. And I was just like, why is it that I feel like he's trying to push me under, like pull me under the bus or something? Like he's really trying to be like, peace out. These are my clients.
He's trying to push you out.
Yeah. And like nobody believed me. No one took me seriously. It like literally, I walked out of my supervision about a month ago because of something that he said that was so unethical, so inappropriate, so to a point that I was like, you don't fucking say that as a human being, let alone a therapist.
Right.
And I was just like, if you're not doing anything about it, fuck off. I'm done. And I remember leaving my supervision because I was like, I'm not dealing with this asshole, right? So anyway, long story short, the last 2 weeks, I've been trying to pick up the pieces, trying to figure out what he's been doing and where I need to start all over.
Right.
Right. So on Friday of last week, I was so done. Like to give it, well, how long are Xander's IEP meetings?
Well, now, like about an hour and 15 minutes.
Right?
Could be hour 30.
I went to one on Friday that lasted 5 hours. We had to end it and reschedule to finish it.
Even when Xander was like in the beginning, I don't think Ashley and I have ever been in a 5-hour IEP meeting.
Right?
Dude, I'd have been like, can we break for lunch? Dinner?
Right?
Like, fuck, y'all got snicky snacks back here?
Right? Something.
Like the little applesauce pouches or whatever, just to give me some sugar. What is happening?
Like the first hour, I was like, okay, we got a little off topic. All right. But then it leads into hour number 2 and then hour number 3. And I'm like, guys, do we see the time?
That'd be me around the 3rd hour. I'd be like, hey.
Like,
thankfully. What the fuck are we talking about?
Right? Thankfully, I didn't have any clients until like towards the end of the day. And then I had literally 4 other clients back to back. And by the time I got to my last client that was supposed to be at 7 p.m., I called my supervisor and I was like, I'm done. I am not doing this. I am not going. You cannot force me to go.
Right. You just suffered like the longest IEP, I think, probably in history.
Right?
Yeah, I've never had one last that long, ever.
I walked out with Dad because Mom stayed behind to talk to the principal to schedule the second part 2 IEP meeting. And Dad walks out. He stops. We go to the car right parked next to me, and he stops and he looks at me and he goes, "Are all IEPs a song? Is this what I need to be in store for?" I was like, "No."
I'd have looked at him dead ass and be like, "No, they're usually like an hour and a half."
Right?
Oh my god.
Like 5 hours.
Man, I hope Ashley listens to this because she'll probably text me and be like, 5-hour IEP.
5 hours.
Dude,
5 hours.
Never.
And keep in mind, it started at 7:30 that morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I'm just waking up. Oh, we still ain't even done. Damn.
I had my cup of coffee. I was ready for lunch by the time we had
Right? I'd have been looking like, yo, y'all got a coffee maker back there? Like, I get another one?
right?
What is happening? Y'all got like breakfast shit that comes by or something?
Right? Do you mind if I DoorDash? Like,
Right? Be like, dude, I'm just letting you know, I've been holding the piss in for 3 hours. I thought we were done.
I don't even know how I maintained it because at some point in my head, I kept saying, I don't think I don't think they're gonna care if you walk out, Sam. And then I was like, literally, like the devil and the angel, because the devil was like, "Do it, walk
Yeah,
out, just
right?
walk out, say you got another client, walk out." And the
Right?
angel was like, "No, we need to hear this. We need to know. We need to
Right.
problems."
I mean, I get like the thing I understand completely about like an IEP is of course it being informative. Um,
Hmm.
what do they say? The less pages, the better.
Yeah,
All that shit. But like, I think between the team of Ashley and me, we can get through an IEP like bang. Like, you know what I mean? Like real
this
cut and dry.
IEP was like this thick.
Xander's had some thick ass IEPs.
Yes, I was just like, "Page what? And how many?"
Yeah, Xander's has, but even that still, when he would have the thick ass IEP, I think that was maybe pushing two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Like,
5 hours, Paul. 5 hours, and we have another 2-hour IEP meeting on Monday.
I mean, who did somebody bring you out like a fucking dictionary book? Like, boom, you're like, well, shit. Wow. I mean, seriously, I've never, ever, ever. If anybody with children that have had IEPs, if you've had a 5 hour IEP, I'd love to hear if it went longer.
Right? I need to
Because
know if I just broke Genesis World Record with longest IEP
yeah,
meeting.
right. If it's like the Guinness Book of World Records for a fucking an IEP is 5 hours, somebody better get the hold of Guinness because, like, dude, I was like 5 hours. Jesus Christ. I'd have been sitting there, like, dude, I'm getting hangry. No, you know what? I'll tune over.
I left there and I felt so horrible because like mom called me probably about a half an hour later and she's like, "All right, your thoughts on this?" I was like, "No, no, no, no." I was like, "I need to hear your thoughts. We're putting you in the power. You're
Because
in the
over here, you're
hierarchy."
like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yep.
I'm done. It's like, that's a lot to fucking process.
I it was so bad that mom's like, "Do you see that girl who walked out when I mentioned this?" And I was in the back of my mind going, "No, I zoned out. My bad."
No, because honest to God, like, my thing is with Xander's IEPs, like, I'm into it. I'm listening, of course, like where they what they want to excel at, what they want art, like improvisation on, like all that improvements, etc. Strengths, weaknesses. I got it. But if it would go over 2 hours, I'd be lost. I'd be
Yeah.
like, my brain would have like that fucking clapping monkey in it.
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, well, that's entertaining. All right.
Well, according to the school, there were 182 incidents that had occurred with this child in this school year alone that they needed to address.
Oh wow. Like
Yeah.
Xander, I forget how many Xander had with the crisis team, but like Xander, he's like the reason they had a crisis team. But still,
Yeah.
ain't no 5 hours. Like
5 hours.
oh my god. No, thank you, man. But like, so did you have that IEP because of that your assistant or the person, or was this just off subject?
The IEP, I had to go to because he's no longer here.
Yeah,
So right now, I am juggling 8 families.
I thought you were
On
like fixing this made up fuck up thing.
No, I now I have 3. One was discharged today, but I had 3 who were all hospitalized because he wasn't working with them. He didn't help them teach coping skills. Like he didn't address the fact that he knew one of them was no longer on his meds and never said anything. Didn't try to work through it to be like, hey, we really need to get him back on the meds. We need to do this. Like, it's a
Yeah.
shit show. It's a circus right now.
Oh, I fucking bet, and especially for that person doing more harm than good to those families. Now
Mm-hmm.
you have to fix what he broke, and that could even cause more trauma
Mm-hmm.
because
And keep in mind, like, we were a team. So the first thing was, if any of these families had found out what he was doing and they wanted to report him, they could have reported me to my licensure board as well because I was his partner. And I could have, in a nutshell, he basically jeopardized my licensure because of his behaviors and his actions. And he didn't think, he didn't care about that. He didn't just stop and think and be like, what am I doing?
no, he
So,
totally carried on himself, like carried on.
mhm, yep. And the second thing is, remember, we were a team. So families trusted both of us. So now they're like, a lot of them, like, unfortunately, I do have to confront them and I have to let them know, like, I'm taking a different approach. And for some of them, it's like, oh, okay, it's because she has a different style. She's a different therapist. It's okay. But there are families that are like, oh, I'm just curious. Why are you taking this approach? It's not it's not what your partner did. It's not how he took this approach. And I have to literally come clean and say, hey, listen, like, this is what we discovered. That right there, I have to take cautionary measures when I tell them, because I've been open with them for 4 or 5 months. I've built trust and rapport with them. And the second I tell them, hey, this is what he's been doing, they're now going to wonder, well, what have you been doing? Why
Right,
didn't you stop him? Can I trust you?
right,
So it's like I said, it's a shit show. It's work. It's a circus. It's trying to
right.
make sure picking up all the pieces, but in a way that keeps everybody together.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're like, motherfucker, I just found out from my goddamn self. Okay, I don't know what the paper method is. I don't know what this shit is. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I'm learning as much as you are. All right.
Yep.
I mean, I got pieces I'm picking up. I'm being pulled every which way but loose. I'm trying to figure it out. And we're gonna try
Mm-hmm.
to get everybody back on track. We're gonna work it out. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna work it out.
And
But
keep in mind, this isn't just like, when I say 8 families, I mean 8 families. This isn't just 8 clients, 8 individual clients. There's my 8 IPs, right? But then their families. So their moms, their dads, their siblings, like every one of them has been impacted in one way, shape, or form. So now I have to repair
eight,
everybody,
the eight
all
whole
eight
families.
families.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That you have your fucking work cut out for you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
Yeah.
what a dick.
Right?
What
But
a
like,
dick.
I wanted to share this with you because I was like, oh my God, Paul's gonna get a kick out of this. So it's a dad story.
I love dad stories.
So remember how I told you my dad is like talking to these scammers on Facebook? Okay.
Yes, let's go.
Okay. So I wasn't feeling good at all, over the weekend. And so I worked my job. I worked from literally, like, I worked, I came home, and I was like, I'm going to take a nap. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm napping and my phone's ringing and I'm like, who the fuck is calling me? Like, what the hell?
Right.
So I go ahead and I see that it's my dad. Now my dad doesn't really call me. He's more of a texter. All
Yeah.
right. So with things that are going on with my mom, I'm always like, oh my God, what's going on? So I answer and I was like, hi, Dad. I was like, everything okay? And he goes, yeah. He's like, everything okay with you? I was like, I'm okay. I was like, I'm trying to get better. Like, I feel like death has taken over, but they're okay. Why? What's going on? He goes, you sent me a text. I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, I didn't text you. I was like, what is this text saying? He said that the text says, I've been urgently trying to get a hold of you. And then I was like, no, Dad, I didn't send you a text. He's like, so there's no emergency. I was like, Dad, let's think this through now. If it was an emergency, I would not be texting you. I
Correct.
would be calling you. And if I can't get a hold of you, I'm calling mom. And if I can't get a hold of mom, I'm calling one of my siblings. Right? Like, there's a whole chain, Dad.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to text you that I urgently need to talk to you or that I've been urgently trying to get a hold of you. So my dad's like, oh, well, that's interesting because I got the text from you. So in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, well, maybe it's one of those ghost texts, where you like download a certain app and then like they'll send out random text messages.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe that's what happened, Dad. And he's like, well, what the hell do you mean? It's a ghost. Casper is not texting me, Samantha. You did.
That is something that my fucking dad would say.
So I'm like, Dad, it's not Casper per se. I was like, what I mean is that I may have downloaded an app that now just sends random text messages. I was like, so just, for future reference, if you get another text message like that, shoot me a text asking me, if I'm okay, or, even message me on Facebook and we can communicate that way. So, it's legit me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay. He's like, should I be worried about Casper? I was like, Dad, you're okay. You're good.
It's almost like, Dad, get your shit together.
Right? So I'm like, I'm okay, Dad. We're good. Casper's not going to hurt you. I'm okay. Do you need anything else? And he's like, no, that was it. And I was like, all right. He's like, all right, love you. I was like, love you too. So then Sunday comes around and I'm at work, right? And he calls me again. And I go, hey, Dad. He's like, Casper messaged me again.
I like how it's just identified now as Casper.
Right? And I was just like, okay, Dad. I was like, what did Casper have to tell you this time? He goes, the same thing, that you're urgently trying to contact me. I'm like, Dad, if I was urgently trying to contact you, why on earth would I be texting you and not calling you? He goes, I don't know. I was like, why don't you go ask Casper this? And then I stopped and I went, wait a minute. I was like, Dad, where are you getting these text messages? And he goes, I'm getting off my Signal app. I was like, well, there you go. I was like, that's definitely not Casper. And he goes, what do you mean it's not Casper? Then who is it? The Loch Ness Monster? Like, so I'm like, Dad, what is the message saying? And he's like, it says that it's you. It says your name and your profile picture from your Facebook. So I was like, okay, let me teach you about scammers 101. I was
Oh my
so I was
God.
like, I was like, Dad, you're not talking to me. You're talking to somebody who's portraying to be me. And he goes, what do you mean? And then he's like, oh my God. He's like, Samantha, your Facebook got hacked. You need to change your password. I'm like, that's not what happened. I was like, Dad, I would have known if somebody got hacked. I was like, if somebody hacked my Facebook, I was like, I guarantee you people would be getting random ass messages on Facebook and they would be coming out, they would be reaching out to me.
Yes.
And I was like, that's not what's happening. He's like, then what is happening? I was like, do you know those, skanky Barbies that you like to contact on Facebook who always sit there and say, but I've been trying to reach you, Steve. Like, let's talk. He's like, I'm not chasing tail, Samantha. I'm like, I didn't say you were, but let's talk about it.
I'd be like, somebody got defensive really quick.
Right? So I'm like, those Barbies there, what they do is you friend them on your Facebook. You immediately friend them and you think that they want to be friends with you. So
Right.
then what they do is they find people who are friends with you on your Facebook. And then they go and they take their profile picture and their names and they act like that person. I was like, and if you don't believe me, I want you to go talk to this person and ask them for my middle name, ask them for my birthday, and ask them where I currently live. All right. So I guess he takes like a few minutes and he comes back. He goes, oh my God, they don't know shit about you.
Right. They know.
I'm like, Dad, I don't want them to know shit about. That's the way it is. I don't want them to know about
Be
me.
like, yeah, like, dude, no.
So I'm like, that's what I'm saying, Dad. It's somebody who just takes the profile picture and the name and portrays to be me. I was like, if you acted like you did not know that they were portraying to be your daughter, I guarantee you they would have got sexual with you real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yes, because that's what it's all about.
Uh-huh. And he just sat there, he goes, ew, I don't want to talk sex with you. And I was like, you're
I don't want to
not.
talk sex with you either, Dad. I'm just saying this is what they're gonna do. Don't make it weird. Now you're making it weird. Let's
I
talk more
was
about Casper and the Loch Ness Monster, Dad.
like, right? So I turned to him and I was like, Dad, listen to me. Just block this person. Stop engaging with them. And his response back was, I can't do that. Do you know how hot half of these women are? And I just sat there and I was like, I thought you weren't chasing tail, Dad.
Yeah, right. What the fuck, Steven? And
And
then
I
like
was
I'd have been like, you understand that that they're not they're not what you see is no the one bitch didn't even have a head, Dad.
like, right?
Come on, Dad. Get it together.
I cannot tell you how many times I have been able to successfully find the real profiles to these people, and the fact that they're literally all of them are OnlyFans. And that's where I started laughing because I was like, I really wanted to see how far he would have gone because I don't have an OnlyFans. Like, you can't access any of my information on my Facebook. So, like,
Right.
how far would they have gone to try to scam my dad out of money when they would have zero content to give him?
And then on top of that too, it would be kind of weird if your dad subscribed to your OnlyFans.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? It's just like, but I'd be like, but you said you didn't want to talk sex, you weirdo.
Yeah, but now that makes me wonder, like, could somebody have, like, created an OnlyFans pretending to be me?
They, I don't know. I mean, because there's no way they could.
They don't know what I
Like,
look like. Unless you are
no,
friends with me on my Facebook, you don't see my pictures.
but like they would have to see like the rest of you. You know
Yeah,
what I
but, like,
mean?
do you know how private my Facebook is? Like, unless you are friends with me, you see nada, nothing.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. The only thing they could have used is probably your profile picture. You know what I mean?
Have you seen my recent profile picture though?
Yep. But I mean, like people, the fucking there's one with no lady with no head.
That's true.
They're
That is
desperate
true. She's just a
motherfuckers.
torso. That is
Yeah,
true.
like you know what I mean. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I would say yes, but then no, because they have to provide the content to the subscriber. What content of you is there? Like, there's none. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but that's where I wonder, like, because in order to draw people in, like, you're gonna have to have like a profile picture, and they don't know what I look like.
Unless they use a profile picture from like before for the OnlyFans link, but then they'd have to have like that's what I'm saying, like content, but they wouldn't have any
Huh.
content.
I'm about to go down a rabbit hole when we end this, and I'm now going to start searching to make sure my ass is not on an OnlyFans that I am not aware of.
See, that's how we're gonna leave it. That's another cliffhanger, like the cops showing up at fucking Eric in my house. We're gonna leave this with Sam going down a rabbit hole, and then we'll find out in a couple weeks where Sam got down that rabbit hole. Okay, and then the conclusion will be: does Sam actually have a quote unquote OnlyFans that's ran by some fucking big old huge 6'7" man in fucking Yugoslavia? But that's all right. Steven be liking it though.
Let's hope not.
So I was like, please don't make this any weirder.
I definitely don't need any weird shit.
No, man, for sure.
We're not an inbred family, I promise you.
Right? But yeah, fuck it. I was like, yeah, we'll leave it at that. So find out in the next couple of weeks if Sam what Sam finds the fuck out on the next fucking episode of when we're all fucking back on together. So we'll see. So for Samantha and her rabbit hole digging and myself, We'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Make sure you like our stuff, subscribe it, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.
Bye.